workshop for family caregivers in Fiji. And it is only right that we hold this first training here in the Lomaipiti group. Ladies and gentlemen, after the National Women's Expo in Suva last year, a lady from the Lomaipiti group approached me and asked if they could be empowered to be able to look after those living with disabilities in their communities better. That was the idea that has led to today's training. And that is why we are holding this first training in Lomaipiti. This is a first for Fiji, and Levuka is known to be the first in many things for Fiji. At the outset, I wish to acknowledge the collaboration amongst the relevant stakeholders, and particularly APTC, to ensure that the training package targeted at family caregivers in community settings eventuates. Those that provide caregiving in community family settings have been the silent and invisible workers, providing a much-needed service to the vulnerable in society without being paid or being recognized as part of the labor force in Fiji. This training recognizes the work that you do on a voluntary basis. This training recognizes the need to empower our communities to be able to look after their loved ones who are in need of special individual support. This training is an acknowledgement of the demographic makeup of Fiji and the demands that it will place on our society in 2 to 3 decades ahead of us. This training will be the first of many. Ladies and gentlemen, in a study carried out in 2007, it was found that females comprise 51% of family workers and 77% of community workers, two groups who receive low incomes and are very much underemployed. It is a known fact that women are the ones who carry this privilege of looking after those in need of individual support or special care in their families. It is therefore apt that it was a woman who came up with a request for such a training that we are doing here today. This training, however, breaks the glass ceiling in a new way. Men are also part of this training because we recognize that men also play an important part in the well-being of their vulnerable loved ones. This training recognizes the need to break through the glass of gender stereotyping, which has left men isolated from the core role of caregiving within their communities and within their families. The men who are here today tell us as Fijians that men also want to share the privilege of looking after their vulnerable loved ones at home and in their communities. We can easily relate that in community settings, caregivers can either be a relative, a friend, a neighbor, who provides practical, day-to-day unpaid support for a person unable to complete all of the tasks of daily living. On the other hand, the person who is receiving care or care recipient, mostly due to issues of old age, disabilities, disease, or mental disabilities. I must add that this training is happening at an opportune time, as the International Day of Families, celebrated on the 15th of May every year, is just around the corner. Although families all over the world have transformed greatly over the past decades in terms of their structure and as a result of global trends and demographic changes, the United Nations still recognizes the family as the basic unit of society. The International Day of Families provides an opportunity to promote awareness of issues relating to families and to increase knowledge of the social, economic, and demographic processes affecting them. The 2018 theme, Families and Inclusive Societies, will explore the role of families and family policies in advancing Sustainable Development Goal 16 in terms of promoting peaceful and inclusive societies for sustainable development. I must say that an initiative like this training is in line with this theme, as caregivers within families play a crucial role in ensuring the inclusion of their family members with needs for special care into the fabric of our society. While caregiving is not totally a new phenomenon in that family members have always looked after each other since the beginning of time, the context in which caregiving occurs has changed. This community family training workshop for family caregivers offers a great opportunity to firstly understand the challenging realities faced by caregivers, share best practices, and assist in mapping the relevant interventions to assist in community family caregiving. Ladies and gentlemen, Fijians are not only living longer, but an increasing percentage of Fijians are recorded to have a disability. According to the Fiji census in 2017, Fijians aged 60 plus comprise 9% of the total population, which is about 80,400 people, while people living with disability make up 12.8% of the total population, amounting to around 113,595 Fijians. What makes this training even more important as a long-term strategy for us as a ministry and as a nation is that as of the last census in 2017, 69% of Fijians are below the age of 40 years. And I think I'm looking at a good section of that today. Ladies and gentlemen, this means that these 69% of Fijians will be 70 years old in 3 decades. And coupled with the incidence of NCD-induced amputations, the need for caregiving skills will become even more crucial. Aligned to promoting in-family and in-community care of our elderly and those living with disabilities, an adapted approach is currently being implemented in partnership with the Australia Pacific Technical College, APTC. The community-based training will benefit families who are already caregiving and also prepare families for their future responsibilities. APTC, this partnership, is the start of a very long friendship. The Fijian government's commitment to older persons and persons living with disabilities is proclaimed under Fiji's 2013 constitution, which provides for a wide range of socio-economic rights. These rights include rights to education, access to health care, housing and sanitation, reasonable access to transportation, food security and safe water, and social security schemes. Fiji's National Development Plan, with a vision of transforming Fiji, ensures that through inclusive development, no one should be left behind, regardless of geographic location, gender, ethnicity, physical, and intellectual abilities. Existing government initiatives to address both older persons and persons living with disabilities are well established in terms of social protection programs, which includes monthly allowances for older persons aged 65 plus and those living with disabilities. Bus fare concessions are also applicable to older persons aged 60 plus at 50% concessions, while those living with disabilities have 100% concession. Strategically, government has also established the National Council of Older Persons and the Fiji National Council of Disabled Persons under the Ministry of Women, Children and Poverty Alleviation that serves as an advisor, strategist, advocate and regulator on interests and developments for both persons living with disabilities and older persons in Fiji. Within the Ministry of Women, Children and Poverty Alleviation, we now have a specialized unit for the elderly and those living with disabilities as well. These units play a critical role in consolidating programs and events to heighten the visibility of the elderly and those living with disabilities in society. With the recent passing into law of the Rights of Persons with Disabilities Act and the heightened focus of the specialized unit for the elderly on our legal obligations under the National Council of Older Persons Act, we can be assured that the visibility and well-being of our vulnerable loved ones will continue to be a priority within the government machinery. To the trainees, make use of this opportunity to learn and to network with fellow trainees beyond this training room to ensure that the valuable skills that you learn here in the next few days can be continuously imparted within your communities and beyond. Because it is when you put what you learn here into practice that the real aim of this training will be achieved. That is to make you agents of positive change within your communities, within your families, by empowering the vulnerable through caregiving and contributing to our national aim of leaving nobody behind. I have much pleasure in officially opening the 2-day community training for family caregivers here in Levuka.
There's been a request from some of the outer islands for some assistance for family caregivers. So people that are looking after loved ones, whether it be the elderly or a family member who has a disability. Some of them have been struggling with being able to care for them to the best of their ability due to probably just a lack of skills. So we are here to try and empower them and find out what their exact needs are so that we can hopefully in the future target some training and put some things into place to assist them as much as what we can. We've worked with the ministry in a variety of ways. We teach individual support, which is a program teaching people to look after the elderly. And through that program we have an MOU to place our students in the aged care facilities, which is under the Department of Social Welfare. So through that we've developed industry relationships over time. And as part of the MOU, we actually facilitate some training for support workers who already work within the system to try and upskill them. So this has come about through conversations. I know that the Department of Social Welfare are working hard to try and offer support within the community now too. There is a real need to try and upskill people that are looking after loved ones at home. So we've talked about it just through conversations, industry consultations, and have come together to work together on this pilot program to scope out what the actual problems are and try and see what we can do to help the community members. It's vital. We have an ageing population. We have a shortage of people who have the skills to be able to look after loved ones. And to be honest, we all grow old. We all need somebody to assist us in the end. And not all family members are actually home to be able to do that. We all have to support family, so we end up going to work. And there has to be somebody that's able to care for the elderly when they need it at home. So it's really important to be able to upskill people within the community so that when some elderly family members are left alone by themselves, maybe they can employ a qualified person to come in during the day when their family's working and assist to look after the loved one. Somebody who has a stroke, for instance, can't be left at home by themselves. They're unable to look after their daily needs. So it's really important that we train people to be able to assist them properly. Well, we hope by the end of this workshop that we have a bit more of a closer idea of the needs of the participants. So today we are looking basically at what the real needs are. We're looking at the struggles that they face. We will try and tailor tomorrow's program to suit that. We're also talking about dementia, Alzheimer's. I've already spoken to a few participants who are looking after somebody in the community who is suffering from dementia, and we will try and empower them with a few more skills to assist them to care for their grandparents or their loved one. At the end of this, we've got some information to give back to them, but we'll also make them aware of what other training is out there for them as well. The other thing that we plan on doing is passing the information on to the Department of Social Welfare so that they can also see what the real issues are in the community and where the community members need assistance to see what else they can offer. Yeah, I think there's a need for both. Okay, there is a need for both. I know that we often say it's better to leave everybody at home and care for them at home, but you have to have somebody at home who's able to care for them. And sometimes this is where neglect happens if we don't have somebody at home that has the skills to care for them. So I do feel that there's a need for both. Some elderly clients choose to live in an aged care facility, and I think that should be a choice factor too. We have some amazing aged care facilities in Fiji that are run by some incredible people who are very compassionate, and I do believe that there is a place for both of them. I'm really excited. Our team's really excited to be part of this, to be able to scope out what the needs are and to try and empower some of the carers that are working solely by themselves in the community. And I think just to make them feel that they're being heard. I think it's great that the government have put their hand up and have offered this training. I think it's a brilliant initiative, and it does show that they're genuine and they do care about the community. So I'm very happy, and I know APTC is very happy to be part of it. I know that they would like to run this as a pilot program, so I think this will be a learning curve to try and find out what the real needs are, and then maybe in the future there will be other community programs run in different communities, different islands, and this pilot program will help us tailor what the real training needs are in other communities.
It will really give us the knowledge and how to care for the people who are with disabilities and some old people, taking care of them. It will be a great knowledge for us to do that if we finish this course.
I was so happy when I was informed about this workshop about the caregiver. At the moment, I'm looking after one of my uncle who is 95 now. So there's a lot of things that I don't know about how to care about them at this very moment. That's why I was happy to come this morning.
This idea is very important, and it's very important in my village too, and it's more useful if we take hand in hand to help those who are mostly the elderly people in the village.